Some people say they're data-driven, they use business intelligence, but business intelligence just looks at things from a historical perspective. AI looks at things from a forward-looking perspective, so predictive and prescriptive analytics. So we're going to analyze Ken's purchase patterns and other people like him, and analyze Jerry's purchase patterns and other people like him. And then we come out with those predictions.
Welcome to Clicks and Bricks Podcast. We talk about the entrepreneur mindset.
If you get one shot at this, what kind of shot are you going to take?
If we forget who we are, they're going to forget who you are.
And you've got an adversity story that's out of this world.
Everything from that Main Street brick and mortar to that billion-dollar manufacturer.
Welcome back to Clicks and Bricks. Today we're talking to Jerry Abiog.
There you go.
I'm getting that right? And he is the co-founder of Standard Insights. How are you doing today, Jerry?
Hey, great, Ken. Thanks for having me on.
Sorry for butchering your last name there a little bit. I know we practiced it 3 or 4 times before we started recording, but it is what it is. Before we jump into what you're doing today, can you give the audience a little bit about who you are, where you come from, and just what is the passion that makes Jerry?
Yeah. So again, thanks for having me on. So my name is Jerry Abiog. I'm a co-founder of Standard Insights. And before we describe what that is, a little bit about my background. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. You can see here my background, Cincinnati Bearcats. That's where I went to college. But I've had over 25 years in sales and marketing experience. And roughly 10 or so years ago, I left the corporate world and started my own business. So at that time, 10 years ago, I helped software companies with sales and marketing initiatives. And along the way, I had some great clients and some not so great clients. And they say in life, you learn from your mistakes. And one of those mistakes, this was in the mid 2010s. I worked with a, AI machine learning software company. While they had a great concept, there were some missteps that they had done, which ultimately caused the demise in the company. That one big thing is, doesn't matter what software platform you have, if you can't explain it in simple terms or solve a business problem, then it's not going to succeed. While the concept was great, it's not something that was easily digestible to our potential audience. So as that company was imploding through serendipitous events, I met my future co-founder. So I'm here in Atlanta. He was visiting Atlanta from India. He used to live in Atlanta. We met through mutual friends. And he had presented to me a prototype. And this was, 4 or 5 years ago, that he had developed that was AI driven. And back then in the mid 2010s, AI was starting to gain steam, right? Still is. But at that time, it was more at its infancy. Infancy now, we're talking AIs more, if you want to compare a timeline, more of a toddler or preschool range right now. So there's a long way to go. But at that time, it was infancy. But at that time, learning from the missteps from the other company, there was something bubbling beneath the surface with artificial intelligence and how we could help drive growth. So this was mid 2010s, met my future co-founder visiting here again, as I mentioned, from India. And he had this prototype. And I thought, learning from what I learned in the past, that it had solid legs of helping using AI to drive repeat buyers. So I took that concept. I flew out to Denver, Colorado for the outdoor retail show. And then coming back to Atlanta a week later, I had secured 2 beta clients. And from there, Standard Insights was born.
Wonderful. So it's quite a meandering effect to get where you're at today, right?
Yeah, nothing ever, as I've learned in life, I'm an old guy, I'm 51, nothing ever happens in a straight line.
Very, very few things. You don't find them in nature very often, right?
Yeah.
So now 10 years ago, you left corporate America and were you the founder of that first business, co-founder? What was the
I'm just an independent contractor helping companies, software companies with sales and marketing initiatives.
Okay. So, and then that led into the current
Yeah, that led into the current client, or not the current client, the old client that bombed, right? And then through serendipitous events, I met my future co-founder, and that's how all that transformed. But it was leveraging the past experiences that is where I'm at today.
All right. So there's so many people out there in the world today that are in a corporate job or a work from home job, or they're doing side hustles, and they're trying to find the courage. They have some kind of passion in their life, whatever it is. So, some of it's knitting, some of it's starting an AI company, right, across the board. And you've taken that leap from corporate America to, I'm going to be an independent contractor for this. Can you tell us a little bit about the specifics of that transition for you, right? Did you have support from your family? Did you save up enough money to survive for the next 3 years? Or did you have just enough to get by for a little bit, right?
It's support. It's a good better half, if you will. But that, and then just having the hustle and grind mentality. And as you get older, ageism exists, and all that good stuff. And you just gotta, hey, how do I leverage my past experiences, to make a living? Is basically that's what it amounted to.
Right. Did you make the decision to leave your corporate America job, or was that decision made for you?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
And you had a significant other. You said a strong partner, a strong other half.
Yeah.
Part of that.
Yeah. It's like, hey, honey, here's the deal. But yeah.
And she said, no problem, quit your job and just start this company.
It didn't quite go that smoothly, but hey, for the audience, it did.
Right. Okay. So now you're an independent contractor. You've got a client that has a great product, but it's not very the ability to communicate what it does, right? I'd say in marketing, you have to boil down what your product does to somebody like they're a third grade student.
Yeah. In simple terms, you should be able to at least get it out and what you do in an elevator pitch, and then kind of lead on from there.
Yes. And that elevator pitch should literally be like one.
Correct.
Try to boil that down as hard as you possibly can.
Yeah. Like, hey, Ken, we can, you have a business, we can help you leverage your first party data to drive future growth using the predictive power of AI. And that's it. If they want to chat, then we can discuss that further.
All right. Wonderful. So I love this, the story to getting to where you're at. And today you've got Standard Insights. Started that company just over 4 years ago. Can you tell us what it is that Standard Insights does specifically and how you help businesses grow?
So our tagline is driving repeat business using artificial intelligence. So that's our tagline. And what Standard Insights does or is, it's an AI as a service, analytics and marketing platform that leverages your first party data to help you drive growth. So high level, how do we do that? Well, we pull raw data. It's going to be coming either from your e-commerce platform, your point of sale, ERP, or spreadsheets. We turn that into derived data, and we can do, to start, one of four things. If you're a business, one, we can predict the potential profitability of each of your customer. Two, we can predict on a macro level what they're likely to purchase, looking at geographic, demographic, psychographic, or behavior characteristics. Three, we can predict things on the individual micro level and what each person is likely to purchase. You see this with Amazon, product recommendations, Netflix with their movie recommendations. Four, we can help with inventory forecasting, where we can predict how much of this will sell in a given day, week, or month. So now, then we take all that information, compile it, and we empower that business to execute data-driven omnichannel campaigns to target the right person with the right product at the right time. So now we're helping drive sales, top and bottom line growth, or top line growth, and then helping with inventory level predictions and making your inventory more efficient. So now that's bottom line growth. So that really summarizes, what we can do. And then we have further, other products and services that help round out our service offering.
Okay. So I see a lot of companies like, hey, we can help you grow with AI on your sales and marketing, or we can help you grow with AI on your inventory management and control. Your software does both sides of that fence.
Does both sides, correct.
So I can save money and make money with one application.
Correct.
Wonderful. I love it. And if I'm out there today, you said from your sales e-commerce platform, things like that, what are some of the high end, like obviously not all of them, but some of the tools that you already integrate with?
So on the e-commerce side, we can integrate with Shopify, Magento, with BigCommerce. On the point of sale side, we are integrated with, NCR Counterpoint, Revel Systems, and a bunch of others. We're doing stuff in cannabis, so we're beginning integration with some of those point of sale platforms out there. And then just not early this week, but we've been working with an HVAC company here in Atlanta, and then they turned us on to their ERP company, and that ERP company serves over 700 HVAC and plumbing clients, nationwide. So, wow. Nowadays things are moving from server to cloud, and within the cloud there's going to be API, integrations, right? So now we're going beyond just analyzing data. We're doing integration, right? So that's another charge we can help out with. We're doing software development as well, and then managed services. So we're always leading in with the software, right, and then expanding, upsell, and cross-selling to our other services.
Wonderful, I love it. So on a very basic level, I want to put you on the spot a little bit here with AI and its abilities, and I'm not overly familiar with your piece of software, so just to get a better understanding, I know that there's a lot of applications out there that will say if a customer bought X, they might also like Y.
Correct.
Right. But it seems to me like are you more a B2C platform or B2B platform?
So B2B platform.
A B2B platform.
So we're selling to other businesses, right, who want to drive sales, who want to improve their growth, who want to reduce customer churn.
Right. I guess, let me rephrase that. Is your end user a B2B user or a B2C user?
Well, it could be both. So on one aspect, it could be the B2B, right? So you're that restaurant, you're that HVAC company, you're that retail company, right? But then we also have an ordering platform that could be used by the consumers like myself and you. Okay. But we're to answer your question, who writes the check for us? It'll be on the B2B side.
Correct. Yeah. So in that whole scheme of AI, if you bought product X, you might like product Y.
Yeah.
And I talk to a lot of people, and they say, I think my Siri's listening to me, or my Amazon Alexa is listening to me, and promoting products and stuff. Are you also taking user data? A person like this person might want your product?
So long story short, yes, we do. If that business has that data, okay. Right? So for example, if you're a wine shop or a dispensary, you've got over 500 bottles of wine that you offer. You got 500 bottles of wine. Maybe you've got, say, 2,500 to 3,000 customers, and maybe you got well over 10,000 purchase orders. Our AI goes beyond just SQL queries, or some people say they're data-driven, they use business intelligence, but business intelligence just looks at things from a historical perspective. AI looks at things from a forward-looking perspective, so predictive and prescriptive analytics. So we're going to analyze Ken's purchase patterns and other people like him, and analyze Jerry's purchase patterns and other people like him. And then we come out with those predictions. So it could be as I mentioned in the past earlier, in a macro level, right, via zip code, income level, or on an individualized level, or both, right? So now when you're zeroing in, you're that wine shop owner, and you're not, sending Ken emails on text on Merlots when he doesn't like them, but he likes Pinot Grigios and vice versa. So it's being hyper targeted. And when you do that, you as a business owner, improving customer experience, preventing customer indecision, telling the customer what to do next. Well, what does that lead to? Well, it leads to improving sales, increasing average order value, and reducing customer churn.
Wonderful. All right. So on Clicks and Bricks, we like businesses of all sizes, right? From the micro to the big business. And obviously not every product is for every company in the world. At what point in a customer's journey, say I've got a Shopify store and I'm selling, soaps or candles or something. At what point in my business does Standard Insights become feasible or required for me to get to the next level?
Yeah, so good question. So obviously with AI, the more data you have, the better. However, start off on the ground floor, right? Not everyone gets to run a marathon tomorrow. They build up to that, right? So first you got to get off the couch, walk around the block. So to answer your question, minimum of 250 purchase orders just to get the bare bones going, and then start building momentum from there.
Okay, so you've got 250 sales under your belt.
Mm-hmm.
Now's a good time. I've got enough history to implement something like that. Do I have to have it implemented from day one to collect the data, or can it go back and look at yesterday?
It can go back.
Wonderful. As far as you want to go.
As far as you want to go, correct.
All right.
But again, I want to caution: AI is not some magic pill, right? Even Amazon doesn't get it right, or Facebook doesn't get it right. But the key thing is to start. Start from somewhere, and over time it gets better. So we like to say we help business owners know their customers better than they know themselves.
Okay, I like that, and I'm a little familiar with AI. It's a bit of a hobby of mine.
Sure.
And there's the common phrase in AI is within a percentage of accuracy.
Yeah.
Right. Now, when you're presenting a system like highly subjective, right? Somebody's checking out. Mm-hmm. You're going to get, hey, you might want these 3 other things. I don't even know how you would get a percentage of accuracy number for that, right? It would be, the variables are pretty insane.
Yeah, so there are going to be a lot of variables, right? Nothing, in life, but you got to ask yourself, what would you lose if you don't implement AI? Right. So it could be accuracy rates. We measured it anywhere from 30 to 70%, but even at the lower end. But if you could help just bump up the sales, for example, this is one of our clients up the road, right? It's a restaurant. We put them on our AI driven ordering platform. Their average order value is $30, give or take. Right. And if we make suggestions, to say 100 people, not all of them will take those suggestions, right? But if we can get a small percentage to take that, from $30 to 40, that's a 30%. You just only need a handful to make it worthwhile. So we're not trying to swing for the fences and bat 1,000.
Okay.
Right. What is it in baseball, right? If you, not a big day, but if you got a 300% batting average, you're doing okay.
Yeah. It's not bad.
Right.
In baseball, it's not horrible at all. All right.
Yeah.
So artificial intelligence, big word, big in the hype today. Really expensive, or is this affordable for a small business?
So it's affordable. I've written a handful of articles. If you type in my name in Google, you'll find some of the articles I've written, and some of them have to deal with the democratization of AI, right? So now, at one point in time, in the not so recent past, it was only for the Fortune 500 or so, right? But now, with the democratization, it's affordable to the small mom and pops that want to improve. Ideally, if you've got $1 million plus in revenue.
Okay, so $1 million plus revenue, is the company that you're looking to start with, right? Which
correct.
It's a decent sized company for a lot of people. Scratch their heads like, wow, $1 million is a lot of money, but for a company of 5 or 6 employees, you're probably pretty close to $1 million revenue, right? It's not that large of a number for a company.
Even for restaurants, right? $1 million. All these companies, it's not once you get a handful of employees going,
Right.
it's not really, that much. Right.
I see a lot of restaurants in the 3 to 750 range.
Yeah.
Right. A lot in that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Jerry, if somebody wanted to work with you and your team and get started, how would they learn more about your company and you specifically?
Yeah, so they can find me on LinkedIn, Jerry Abiog, Abiog, Standard Insights. I'm the only one there. They can go to our website, standardinsights.io, all spelled out, or they can shoot me an email, jerry@standardinsights.io, or just Google my name, and they'll find all the articles and news clippings that I've been on.
Wonderful. And we'll throw all of that stuff down at the bottom so that in the description of the episode, so that if you're watching, you just scroll down and find all the information on Standard Insights and more about Jerry and his team. Before we go today, Jerry, can you explain in just your terms, what is artificial intelligence? And if you can even bring in what is machine learning into that as well.
Yeah, so, AI is getting a computer to think and act like a human, right? And the machine learning is a subset of that, the list of instructions. And really, AI is in our everyday lives, right? So it could be with, Alexa, Facebook, or even I use Grammarly to help me with my writing, and it makes suggestions. So high level, that's what it is. And getting a computer to think and act like a human.
Right. Historically, we've used computers for very objective answers, right? What is 2 times 2, or some really crazy math problems. And going 2022 in the future, we're going to see a lot more where we're asking computers subjective questions and getting subjective answers. And then from there, making decisions on how we move forward.
And right now, Ken, with everything that's going on, in the world today, so we're dealing with, inflation, right? And in some industries, they have a labor shortage. In some industries, they have they're laying off. So now it's the perfect time to use both technology like AI and humans to help mitigate what's going on out there. So if you're a restaurant, you own a wine shop, and say you need a staff of 10 people, but with AI-driven technologies, you can curtail that staff, from 10 to maybe 5 or 6, to use a hybrid, and you as a business owner, save money because labor costs are expensive.
Right.
And with our AI ordering platform, I would be willing to bet for anyone that works in a wine shop or retail, if they can immediately process in their head what someone's likely to purchase when you're dealing with 10,000 plus purchase orders or 500 different products, when you could easily be presented here, right?
Absolutely.
So that's something that your audience may want to think about if they're struggling with labor shortages and other extraneous costs with the hyperinflation we're experiencing. And I've actually written some articles on that. So
wonderful. Jerry, I've had a blast talking with you today. Before we go, one last question for you. You made the decision in your early 40s to leave corporate America and work on your own. And right now, there's a lot of people in their late 30s. They're working corporate America. They're just not happy with their position in life. What words of wisdom, or maybe even some tales of caution, would you give that person today that's scratching their head and just they're ready to make that jump, and there's just something keeping them from moving forward?
Yeah, don't be afraid to jump in the deep end. That's it.
Just jump in.
If you're by your late 30s, early 40s, you've got a wealth of experience, right? Use that, leverage that, and for your own good and not someone else's.
Jerry, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, Ken, thanks for having me.
That's all we have. That's it for the show today, folks. Again, if you want to tune in every single day, we've got shows every day leaving at 11 a.m. Get to work. Thanks for watching today's episode of Clicks and Bricks. Get to work.